Here.
Mr. Gomez?
Here.
Mr. Harris?
Here.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Here.
Ms. White?
Here.
Thank you. Item B, approval agenda. Motion to approve the agenda. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve the agenda of the October 19th, 2022 Board of Education meeting. Action by the Board of Education and adoption of consent agenda means that all items are adopted by one singular motion unless a member of the Board of Education, treasurer, or superintendent requests that any such item be removed from the consent agenda and voted upon separately.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Thank you. Item C, our opening ceremony. Welcome. We're so happy to have all of our top Tigers back. It's a long few months of board meetings without our top Tiger recognition, so we're so happy to see so many faces here tonight. Our vision, Cuyahoga Falls City Schools, the hub of our community, committed to a culture of caring. We innovate, we create, we personalize education for all. Our mission, every student, every day, every opportunity. Number 2, informational items. This meeting is a meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business. It is not a public community meeting, although there are opportunities for public participation. If an individual wishes to address the board regarding a topic found on the meeting agenda, the individual must complete a registration form found inside the attendance notebook and present it to the treasurer. Following the introduction of the topic by the board president, followed by board discussion, the individual will be recognized. If an individual wishes to address the board regarding a topic not found on the meeting agenda, they must notify the superintendent and/or board president of the topic no later than 3 business days in advance of the meeting. These individuals may share their comments during the board business portion of the agenda. In both cases, the individual will preface comments by announcement of their name and address and limit comments to 3 minutes. All statements should be directed to the board president. No person may address or question board members individually. In addition, in public session, the board will not hear complaints about school personnel nor against any person connected with the school system. An unabridged board agenda for this meeting can be found on your electronic device at the address shown on the screen, and for your convenience, there are hard copies of the board agenda on the librarian's desk. The next meetings of the Cuyahoga Falls Board of Education are a retreat scheduled for October 24th at 5 p.m. at NeoNet and October 25th at 8 a.m. at NeoNet. We have a community engagement meeting. It's the 100th anniversary next Wednesday, October 26th, is the 100th anniversary of the opening of Cuyahoga Falls High School. So we're having a celebration of that. And then on the same night, we're going to unveil what the inside of our new 612 building is going to look like to the whole community. So everyone is welcome to attend that. It's going to be at 6:30 p.m. in the auditorium next Wednesday, October 26th. And then our next regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Education is November 2nd, 2022 at 5:30 p.m. right here in the Cuyahoga Falls High School Library. Now for our Pledge of Allegiance and positive reflection, Mr. Harris.
Please stand for the pledge if you're able. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, my positive reflection this evening is from Jonathan Lockwood Huey. Find a time and place of solitude. Look into the distance and into the future. Visualize the tomorrow you are going to build and begin to build that tomorrow today.
Thank you. Item D, presentations. We have 2 presentations this evening. The first is a staff recognition, our first Staff Star Award of the new school year, and Mrs. McClure is going to come up to the podium and introduce that person.
Good evening, everybody. So the Staff Star Award is an award given to, obviously, a member of our staff who is nominated by another one of their colleagues. So we certainly want to recognize our staff for doing such great things. So at this point, I'd like to ask Mrs. Debbie Dene to come on up. I'd also like to ask her interim principal, Danielle Terlange, who's taking pictures, to come on up. And also Mrs. Kathy Ward, who was the nominator, to come on up. They didn't know they were all coming up here. So Debbie is the secretary at Lincoln School, so if you are a Lincoln person, you know her voice for absolutely for sure on the other end of the phone. And I just want to highlight some of the things that her colleagues said about her. Debbie Dene is a wonderful person who just happens to be the building secretary at Lincoln Elementary. Not only is she lockstep with Tracy, who is Miss Early, who is our principal over there, Debbie works hard to meet the needs of everyone in the building, always with a warm smile. Debbie is the cruise director of Lincoln Elementary School. It's a big vote. As the first contact person, either at the door or by phone, Debbie answers questions, solves problems, gives guidance, and always with a smile. Debbie greets everyone and treats them as an individual, always with a warm smile. Debbie handles last-minute staffing changes, shortages, and emergency, always with a calm nature and a warm smile. She hands out food, water, bandages, and hugs, always with a smile. She is quick to address questions and requests, always with a smile. She easily reaches her 10,000 step a day goal, and that's just from her office to the door, always with a smile. Oh, and can you call the custodian, please? There's a spill in my classroom. Debbie is a multitasking tech whiz, copier fixer, inventory master, efficiency officer, always with a smile. She makes calls home for various reasons, from sick children to a reminder that it's time to pick up the children. She does it with a warm and friendly tone and always with a smile. From purchase orders and ordering supplies to deliveries to absences, there should be a pile so high on her desk that she couldn't be seen. However, fortunately, there isn't. Otherwise, they couldn't see her smile. Each day, they all look forward to Debbie's kind words, her smile, her humor, and her positive attitude. Her qualities are contagious. She is the definition of black tiger pride and makes Lincoln Elementary School better every day. Debbie Dene is a wonderful person who happens to be our cruise director. Congratulations. So I know that our superintendent, Dr. Selico, made a trip over to Lincoln personally to give Debbie her a certificate and a pin, but we wanted to officially give her the Shining Star Award, so you can display that on your desk. It's nicely wrapped there, so there's no germs on it. You can try to keep it wrapped. There you go. What would you like to say?
I'm honored, first of all. Thank you so much, Kathy. We definitely work as a team at the school. It's a big school, a lot of people. A couple years ago, I stepped away from the classroom where I had been for 20 years. Kind of unsure, but I definitely made the right choice. So thank you. Thank you.
Take a picture.
Oh, and she needs a flower, too.
Now for our second presentation, our Top Tiger recognition, invite Dr. Selico up to get us started.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Good evening. Well, someone, thank you. I'm glad you're with me this evening. All right. How about others? Good evening. Good evening. Thank you. So, as Mr. Gomez said, my name is Andrea Selico, and I'm the superintendent. I know I haven't had an opportunity to meet all of you, but just started here just a few months ago. So enjoying my time and happy to see all of our students here this evening. And it's an honor to carry on the tradition that they've had here for quite some time which I think is an amazing one of recognizing our students as Top Tigers. So if I may just tell you a little bit about the Top Tiger programs for those of you who it may be new to. So Top Tiger is an award given by the Board of Education to 2 students from each building each month. The students are chosen by various staff members in their buildings, and I get the distinct honor of reading each of those nominations. I'm going to ask that when I announce the students' names, we're going to have a system. I don't know if it's what it's been in the past, so there might be a little change here. No one freak out, okay? Stay with me. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask the student that I'm announcing that name is to just stand where he or she is. And then after that, I ask that each student come up and receive their bag from Ms. Coco after I'm done reading about you. And then after all the students have been honored, we're going to have Ms. Stewart is going to take a picture. So when you come up, students are going to come this way. All right, you're going to come straight through here. You're going to see all of our board members who I don't know if you're going to shake hands or give a wave or anything.
I don't know.
Yep.
Ms. Coco's going to represent us.
And I know Ms. Coco will give the bag out, right? And so we'll keep heading this way. And then Ms. Stewart, you're going to take a picture over there. Is that correct? All right. And then do we want people to stay there? Okay, so students, what we're going to have you do is stay over there, maybe off to the side a little bit. It might get a little bit congested. But rather than have you go back and forth, we want to get a group photo as well. So you're going to have your picture taken and then stay over there, okay? After all the students have been honored, as I said, we'll have a picture, and then you're free to go for the evening, even though we are going to have many exciting things to discuss. But we understand that you have some homework to do maybe tonight, and as Mr. Gomez told me to remind you, that you may even want to go get ice cream even though it's a dreary night. Now there's some inside joke with that, I'm not sure what it is, but they left me out, they just told me to say it, so I think I just got set up, but that's okay. I would also like to add, before I start the nominations, that we would like to thank our generous community sponsors for all that they do, including our Cuyahoga Falls Schools Foundation and Alumni Association, and also thank you to our partners who just encourage our students to be the best that they can be. I've really appreciated getting to know many of our stakeholders and how positive they are about our students and really want the best for them. And at this time, then, I would like to ask Gary Metcalf, who is the executive director of the foundation, to come forward, and he's just going to tell you a few words about what you're about to receive tonight, some of you students, and some other encouraging words. Thank you, Gary.
First of all, the Cuyahoga Falls Schools Foundation would like to congratulate every Top Tiger and their parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles who are here tonight. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Donato's Pizza and Dietz's Florist, who you'll get a carnation. Some of the things that the Schools Foundation has done in the past, we've helped rebuild the entrances stadium at Clifford Stadium for Tiger Trail with the bricks. We help with class reunions. We sponsor all class reunions. We honor distinguished alumni. If you go out the door and turn left, you'll see a showcase with some plaques of our distinguished alumni. We provide teacher grants. In the last 8 years, we've helped teachers with grants that are worth over $40,000. And last but not least, we award scholarships to our graduating seniors, and in the past 8 years, over $1 million have been awarded to our graduating seniors. And one other thing, I always forget, you will receive a t-shirt tonight. So after your picture, go out here, hang a left, then hang a left again, go down to room 406, and I'll be giving you a Top Tiger t-shirt, in which you can wear all school year, and we also march in the Memorial Day Parade. So you'll get more information in May. Thank you very much.
I've had the opportunity to meet with Mr. Metcalf and his trustees and all of the people on the Foundation and Alumni Association, and what a dedicated group of people, truly. I've been on other foundations, and this really is a top-notch group, so very grateful to all that they've done. You've heard over about $1 million in scholarships. That's absolutely amazing. All right, well, students, are you ready? I see some smiles, some eager. You're wondering who's going to go first? Let's see if I can surprise you. It's really a scientific way. We're gonna go in alphabetical order of schools, starting with elementary, and then we'll move our way to secondary, okay? So again, let's see, now we're gonna try this out, the first person, see if we can follow directions. We're going for DeWitt. Miss Scala's ready to go. She realized that you're the first alphabetically, right? All right, good, all right. Okay, our first student is Jocelyn Wilson. So if you could just stand, perfect, very good. All right, Jocelyn, let's hear about you. We're going to embarrass you just for a moment, okay? All right, Jocelyn Wilson is a 5th grade student at DeWitt Elementary School who has been nominated as this month's top Tiger. Jocelyn participates in many dance activities at McCardle's Dance Studio, and she has been taking dance classes for 7 years. She currently takes ballet, pointe, and baton classes. Jocelyn looks forward to using her dance skills to become a future Tiger Band majorette. Jocelyn is a conscientious student who always puts forth her best effort helping peers and adults throughout the school day. Her kind and thoughtful ways are reflected in the positive attitude she displays throughout the school community. Jocelyn Wilson shows Black Tiger pride at all times. This is why we are proud to nominate her as the DeWitt Elementary School Top Tiger, and they are your 5th grade team, and they send Tiger love to you. So congratulations, so come on up. Our next student is Dominic Hume. Not here? He's sick. Oh, I was all excited. My brother and my father's names are both Dominic. We don't run into those too often, but I'm going to read about Dominic. So Dominic is from DeWitt, and he is a 5th grade student, and he has been nominated as the month's top Tiger. And Dominic is interested in becoming a baker someday. Nice. He especially is excited to use the life skills room at DeWitt to strengthen these skills. Dominic is a soccer player, but he is most excited about working on his personal YouTube channel. Wow. Dominic is a very conscientious student who enjoys learning and comes to school each day with a positive attitude. Dominic's favorite subject is math, and he especially enjoys working on the challenges that math provides. Dominic demonstrates respect not only to adults in the building, but to his classmates as well. Dominic shows Black Tiger pride at all times. This is why he has been selected as our 5th grade top Tiger at DeWitt. And they too, the 5th grade team, nominated him. So, a round of applause for Dominic. All right, who do we think's next? Oh, no. Lincoln, all right. Our first student, just messing with me today, huh? All right. Our first student at Lincoln is Brooklyn Payne. Brooklyn, where is Brooklyn here? Excellent. All right, Brooklyn, you ready? All right, here we go. Brooklyn Payne has been nominated for Top Tiger by Lincoln's Unified Arts Team, Mrs. Farkas, Mrs. Krumrig, and Mrs. Ward. Brooklyn is a 5th grade student at Lincoln Elementary School. Along with being a good student, Brooklyn is always eager to learn, ask questions, and she participates in school activities. She has been a part of the student leadership team, volunteering to improve the school environment, take part in relay recess, is a kindergartner helper, and sets a positive example for her peers. Brooklyn is such a creative person that she inspires her teachers to create lessons based on her imagination. Brooklyn is an incredibly creative person. Again, this is mentioned twice, so you must really be creative. And excels in dance, composing music, as well as writing lyrics. Brooklyn is a fun, loving friend to everyone. Congratulations, Brooklyn. Lots of people. I know it's hard. Everybody looking at you, Brooklyn. All right. Our next student is Aiden Richards. Is Aiden here? All right, Aiden. Aiden has been nominated for Top Tiger by, again, Lincoln's Unified Arts Team. Aiden is a 5th grade student at Lincoln Elementary School, and along with being a responsible student, Aiden has been chosen to be a part of the student leadership team, taking part in many of the school and community activities, including relay recess, assemblies, and event planning. Aiden is always enthusiastic and positive with all of his peers. He is among the first to lend a hand when a peer is facing a challenge. Aiden is constantly creating new ideas and challenges. He makes education exciting and fun for everyone in the classroom. He excels in soccer and other activities outside of school. Congratulations, Aiden. All right, moving to our next school is Preston. All right, we have Gideon Coop. Is Gideon here? Yes, all right. Are you ready? You look ready. All right, let's see what we got here. It has been amazing to watch Gideon grow up and become such a great example of a Black Tiger leader. Since kindergarten, he has been a quiet young man that could always be counted on to do the right thing. I have looked forward to seeing him and his smile every day. His fourth grade teachers from last year are already missing him because he was their tech guy, but his fifth grade teachers aren't always willing to share him because he is such a reliable and kind young man. I know Gideon is going to continue to do great things, and I cannot wait to see where his path goes. Congratulations, Gideon. All right, next we have Alyssa Woods from Preston. Alyssa's here. All right. All right, Alyssa has been a Black Tiger with a big smile ever since kindergarten. She has been one of the most positive and kindest students I have ever been blessed to know. She goes out of her way to help students and staff. You can always find Alyssa doing her very best no matter what the task at hand. I needed help the other day, and she was chosen by a peer to be the one to come along and help us. The future is bright when we have young Black Tigers like Alyssa that are leading the way. Congratulations, Alyssa. All right. Next, we're moving to Price. And, all right, Nicholas, you got to tell me if I'm saying your name wrong. Is it Nicholas Suba?
Nixon.
Oh, Nixon Suba. Oh, okay, there he is. I saw him earlier. Okay. All right. I can see you. All right. Ready? Here we go. In the few short weeks after beginning kindergarten, Nixon has demonstrated the true spirit of having Black Tiger pride. His enthusiasm for learning and engaging in class always helps to encourage his peers. Nixon's positive attitude and infectious smile never fail to make the day brighter for everyone. It is truly a pleasure to have Nixon as a part of the Price Elementary School family. Yay, Nixon. Our next student is Faith Peters Wilson. Oh, there she is. Faith has made a huge amount of progress in all of her specials classes. She is always willing to take on a challenge, and she isn't scared to make mistakes and learn from them. Her wonderful sense of humor brings a spark of joy to her classes, and her growing confidence can be contagious. Faith is becoming a strong role model and leader. Congratulations, Faith. All right, we're moving on to Richardson. Madeline Garcia Cruz. Is Madeline here? All right, Madeline Madeline is a wonderful student who comes to school each day with a bubbly personality and ready to learn. She constantly puts her best effort into everything she does and always takes pride in her work. Although Madeline struggles at times with new concepts, she always strives to understand the tasks given to her and is conscientious, hard-working student. This was shown to improve her reading and math goals. Madeline is well liked by her peers, and she displays positive Black Tiger pride in being helpful and kind, and is a pleasure to be around. We are very proud of you, Madeline, and know you will accomplish your dreams in life. Keep up the great work. This is from all your teachers at Richardson Elementary. Okay, our next student is Nasaruddin Mari. Is that right? Okay. Right. Nasaruddin is an exemplary student who has an excellent attitude towards learning. He is always willing to lend a hand to others in need and is well liked among his peers. He tries his best in all subject areas and genuinely enjoys learning new concepts. He is able to share appropriate and relevant information, which adds to classroom discussions. Nasaruddin has a strong work ethic and never completes any assignment halfway. He has far exceeded his goal in reading and can now speak in 2 languages very well. His positive attitude towards school and respect that he gives to both his fellow classmates and teachers is why he is chosen as our top Tiger this month at Richardson Elementary. We are very proud of you and wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Mrs. Toraji and Mrs. Bruce. All right, last but not least in the elementary world, we have Silver Lake. And our first student is Elsie Lees at Silver Lake. Yeah. All right, Elsie. Elsie is always showing Black Tiger pride in art, music, and physical education. She is dedicated to doing an outstanding job on her work and being kind to her classmates and teachers at school. She is always there to help a friend and is always doing what she needs to be doing in order to work as a team with her class. We are very proud of all of her accomplishments at Silver Lake Elementary over the years. Way to go, Elsie. All right, our next student is Jackson Shaw. Jackson Shaw. There he is. All right, Jackson. It's like a tongue twister for me. I don't know why. Shows Black Tiger pride in art, music, and physical education by being polite, kind, and respectful to his classmates and teachers. He is always willing to go the extra step to help a friend in class. You can easily see in class that Jackson gives his best effort in whatever he is trying to accomplish. Keep up the great work and leadership. Congratulations. All right, now we're heading to those middle school students. The next one we have, next student is Ryan Cargold. All right. Okay, Ryan is in 8th grade at Bullock Middle School and follows Black Tiger pride every day from being respectful, taking responsibility, and practicing safety. In class, Ryan is attentive and alert. He is always ready to participate in class discussion. Ryan completes all of his assigned work well. When he is absent, he makes it a priority to complete the work as soon as possible. Ryan is also a kind, friendly, and he is also helpful to his classmates. It is not unusual to see him helping a classmate with an assignment. Ryan is not just a great student, but a great person and role model for his peers. Outside of school, Ryan is active in sports. He plays football and tennis and runs track. In fact, Ryan loves sports. Sounds like it. Ryan, thank you for being a great student and following Black Tiger Pride. We look forward to working with you this year and watching you soar in high school and beyond. Tennis, huh? That's great. All right. Our next student from Bullock is Maggie Luoma. Did I say that right? Okay, Maggie. Hi. Maggie is a top Tiger at Bullock Middle School every day and in life. At Bullock Middle School, Maggie follows Black Tiger Pride every day, from being respectful, taking responsibility, to practicing safety. In class, she is attentive, alert, and participates in discussions. Maggie enters Bullock every day prepared for the school day by having completed all of her assigned work well. Plus, she is a very talented writer. In school, Maggie is kind and friendly to all. Maggie loves her family, including her dogs, and nature. Outside of school, Maggie enjoys hanging with friends and hiking. She keeps busy outside of school with her roles in musical theater. In November, you can catch her in the production of Annie Jr. Annie Jr., is that what it is? Okay. At Rubber City, and in January, she'll be in Seussical with Phoenix Performing Arts. Nice. Maggie is not only a great student, but a great person. Maggie, thank you for being a great student and following Black Tiger Pride. We look forward to working with you this year and watching you soar in high school and beyond. All right. We're moving to Roberts. Our first student there is Hayden Bonds. Hayden? Everyone who knows Hayden can see what a fantastic young lady she is, with a smile that can light up any room. As a 6th grade student at Roberts, Hayden has already made a positive impact in a very short period of time. Her teachers love how respectful and conscientious she is, and how she always strives to see the good side of things. Hayden's science teacher, Miss Schindler, states that even though Hayden always takes pride in her work, she seems to take even more pride in helping her fellow students. It is with this type of big heart and fantastic behavior that makes her so special. Thank you, Hayden. You are our top Tiger. All right. Next, we have Krista Heron. Krista is a 6th grader who has already figured out how to find success in life. Just smile often and try to be kind to everyone. According to her science teacher, Ms. Schindler, Krista is a very dedicated student who advocates for others as much as she advocates for herself. In the hallways, Krista can be seen laughing or giving hugs to her favorite people. She is a bright spot in so many of our lives, and we are very grateful for it. We look forward to watching Krista continue to grow and influence others through her positivity and kindness. Congratulations, Krista. You are our top Tiger. All right, heading to the high school. Our big kids now. All right. Our first student is Bipal Garung. Bipal is a conscientious student who has overcome great odds to become an excellent student of English. He was born in Nepal and has not only learned the English language, but has become an excellent student of the English language. He currently is taking Honors English 12 in addition to several AP classes. He is an exceptional student, role model, and friend. He is looking forward to pursuing an education at The Ohio State University, where he plans on studying medicine. Excellent. But Paul works hard and has an endless dedication to academic improvement, which will take him anywhere he desires to go and to achieve anything he desires to achieve. But Paul showcases his Black Tiger pride by his participation in the high school's Source of Strength program, a student-driven leadership group promoting positive school culture and climates. Congratulations, Paul. Last but not least, and you're probably used to going last if things are alphabetical, right, Danielle? Danielle Wagner, right? End of the alphabet, right? Okay. All right, Danielle. So throughout my 3 years of having Danielle as a student in AP Language, AP Lit, and Honors ELA 11, she has demonstrated resilience and perseverance in the classroom. She always approaches literature with a critical eye and has the ability to make applicable connections to her own life and the world around her. Danielle's kindness, enthusiasm, and drive make her a model student who is respected by her peers and teachers alike. She is the embodiment of Black Tiger pride as evidenced by her participation in the following: varsity cheerleading captain, National Honor Society president, the class of 2023 executive committee, and student council. I have no doubt that her strong communication skills, compassionate heart, and determination will guide Danielle through her post-secondary studies as she pursues a degree in nursing. Excellent. Congratulations, Danielle. Wow. That is some great news, and what a pleasure to read all of those positive things about our students. I'm very proud of all of you, as are your teachers, clearly. We have a great group of students here, and not only students here, but our parents and grandparents and all of you. So if we could have a round of applause for you. We all know parenting is not easy, so kudos to all of you. So we're going to get a group photo. So board, I think if you can head on over, we're going to get this organized. And at the conclusion of that, you can round up your students. And as Gary had said, you can head out and get your t-shirts as well. So just give us a moment, and thank you again. Why don't we have a round of applause for everyone again? Mr. Metcalf, what was that?
Get their t-shirts. Don't forget your t-shirts.
Yeah.
sorry, Carrie. I can't.
Bumper cars.
I can't. I have to push it back because
Well, what it was is mine. It was out. Mine's ours. The legs of our chair are both.
Yeah.
That's what you get to organize next time. That's what you get to organize.
Yeah, the custom one was.
Oh, certainly, sure.
She was right over there in the corner there. That was the first custom one. It's cute.
How are you? Gonna teach me some more science?
Anthony. Anthony.
You keep saying grades, I don't know.
What? Science?
Yeah.
She teaches science.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's moved a couple times.
He's
But she was in 8th grade when Dennis was
Parents
in
like their
6th
kids
grade.
Yeah,
to come up
she's-
first
Dennis
'cause
was in
they like
8th
to
grade.
get
She
the
moved to
picture
6th grade.
Yeah.
of you
So Dennis
standing
never had
with
her.
them
Yeah,
standing by you.
But she
And then they
does
like
teach
to record
science,
their
8th
kid while you
grade.
read the
Miss
thing.
Bonds.
Miss
So they have,
Bonds.
yeah.
The,
It's like a thing. It's like a thing.
So, yeah.
I think she's
They saw them, they're like, how do I record my kid?
a science teacher now. But I don't know. I'm not sure.
That's very normal.
That's great.
That's Reverend Beatty.
I like that little setup. That's cute.
Is that Pastor Akron?
If we put it back there, then people continue to take pictures. I mean, I know it's convenient over here for us.
Hispanic family.
And I think we should start with high school first. Maybe we should have the thing behind her. That way when she shakes their hand, it could be on that thing. The picture with her, and then everybody ends. It could literally be there. We could just pull the board up while we're doing it. I don't know. I just come here twice a month.
So cute with a smile.
Yeah, Maggie's it's right there. She's in Miss Hannigan.
You're fine.
That's okay.
We're waiting.
It's gonna be good.
Okay, on to item E, our treasurer CFO's business. Consent agenda, Ms. Stoikoi.
Thank you. I'd like to recommend that the Board of Education approve all items listed in the treasurer's consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
All one of the items. Just minutes.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Not done.
Thank
More to
you.
come. More to come.
On to item F, treasurer CFO's business, Ms. Stoikoi.
I'd like to recommend the Board of Education approve the September 2022 investment schedule and monthly spending report.
So moved.
Second.
You have to say it.
Second. Sorry.
Thank you. Ms. Stoikoi?
Okay, let's look at interest. I feel good about it. So pretty similar to last month, as you can see. We probably eclipsed last year's whole total, I think, already. in this first quarter here, so, still trucking along there, and getting some good return, and things are starting to pick back up in that area, so that's good.
Is Huntington, is this the month we might see Huntington? Meaning October.
I'm hoping,
Okay.
we will see.
Okay,
I'm
thank
hoping,
you.
yes. Okay, and then let's look at, general fund. we received the settlement in September, our final settlement from the county for our real estate taxes. Similar, very similar expenditure-wise as we've been over the past couple years. It's very similar to last month. Negative result of expenditures, that's pretty typical result of operations because we're not bringing in as much revenue as we do in July or August. But we ended at about 26.5 million, which is about 2 million, a little over 2 million better than last year at this time, and 7 million better than 2 years ago at this time. So that is very good. But
That'll be decreasing to
It'll
like
be decreasing.
February-ish is when the next
yeah,
one.
so February is when we start receiving that. For the county, it's the first half tax settlement. For us, it's the second half of the fiscal year, but it will see it, as you can see from years past, kind of dwindles down, and then once you hit February, it starts going back up again with that second installment from real estate. And then that's really all. Athletics, food service are all the same as they have been, and there's not a lot of activity yet in the building projects. We're gonna start to be seeing more as things are happening. We've been, doing some things through the Oaks, which is the system that the state of Ohio uses. So we've been receiving payment applications and doing all that kind of stuff. Yeah, thumbs down. So you will start to see some more activity there pick up now that we are really been doing, the abatement and the demolishing and all of that. So we will keep an eye on those in the future. But everything else is doing good.
Board members, any questions or comments? I have two questions. One about the general fund. So, I mean, as we all know, inflation is awful. But when we look at these, we're pretty much in terms of expenditures where we were in years prior. So what can we attribute that to, knowing that everything still costs more, and yet it seems like we're doing a good job on expenditures?
Yeah, I mean, you can see they're inflated, a little bit from last year at this time. That is the inflation there. And some of it honestly could really be due to timing.
Okay.
Now that we're further into the school year and we're starting to really pay those like 8 monthly things
Okay.
that have happened that, started like in August. I think October will be a good indicator now that we're almost 2 months into the school year. And we're receiving those, those yearly contracts we have where they start invoicing us monthly, kind of around in September, and then typically get paid out in October. So I think that'll be a good indicator of where we're at compared to the couple years past as far as inflation goes.
You're saying don't be too optimistic.
No.
And then on the food service, is that because of inflation? Well, the expenditures are kind of similar, but our results of operation, he's eating up his nice
So that's
cash balance.
yeah. So that's kind of typical for August and September because we're behind on, even though lunch isn't free for everyone, we still do receive that reimbursement for our free and reduced kids that do qualify this year. And so that's typical because they're not here eating in July and August. We're not receiving that revenue. We kind of receive it at the end of the month. We submit that. We'll get our first large one here, and I think we did already in October, if I remember. It was somewhere a little over 200,000 maybe from them. So it's fairly typical for that results of operations those summer months and that beginning of the school year to be in the negative, just because the revenue's not, there's really no revenue stream because people aren't, and going back now, to the way lunches were pre-COVID, parents aren't putting lunch money on the accounts during the summer months. They might start once it gets closer to school and stuff, but you're just not seeing a lot of cash inflow in those months because of that, those two things.
Are we seeing a lot of families take advantage of applying for free and reduced, or is that something we should still be encouraging?
I mean, we should still be encouraging it always. Obviously, this year, because they've needed to, I think we've probably gotten a better response than in previous years. and I haven't checked, I don't know if you happen to know what the numbers were off the top of your
It's
head.
been a little slow because in the previous 2 years, they haven't had to apply. No one's had to apply. So Bill and Hope are doing a wonderful job reaching out to families who are eligible to let them know they're eligible. Please sign up.
So yes, we still very much encourage, even if you're unsure, you don't, it doesn't hurt to put the application in and find out, so, because some people don't necessarily know what the different requirements are or what the thresholds are, and it may turn out that you do indeed qualify, and, we don't want anyone to miss out on that.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye. Now for your comments, Mr. O'Connor.
I don't have many. I'm sad today because the Guardians lost. So Lucas and I are sad. But everything, I mean, really, we've kind of just been trucking along. I'm looking forward to we've been getting into the forecast race recently, so that'll be next month that we will do that presentation, and so I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you. On to item G, Superintendent CO's business consent agenda, Dr. Selko.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. I recommend that the board approve the items as listed in the consent agenda.
So moved. Second?
Any discussion?
One note I would like to make, that is the gentleman sitting in front of me. What you will be voting on this evening with hopefully a positive vote here, you will be approving Mr. Christopher Jones, who goes by Chris, as my administrative assistant. So he is here this evening.
I promised Dr. Selko I'd say that if you can start before November 1st, we're happy to amend the agenda on the fly.
And if I may just add that, just a little bit about Chris, he is Kent State grad, undergrad and master's, I believe, in
Undergrad at Mount Union.
Mount Union, master's at Kent, and he's currently working at Kent as an administrative assistant there in the music department. So, interviewed many excellent applicants. I really did have a lot of great choices, but I just felt the vibe with Chris, and we talked quite a bit, and we've agreed that we think we're going to make a great team, right? So, yes, and have lots of fun.
Welcome, Mr. Jones.
Welcome.
We'll all get to know you as well as we tend to work with Dr. Selko's administrative assistant as well. I wanted to comment on one of our retirements, Mr. Ken Gribshaw, who's retiring at the end of this calendar year after many, many years of being a physical education teacher here in Cuyahoga Falls City Schools. He was my phys ed teacher, as he likes to remind me, at Bullock back in the day. He will leave a big gap, and that's 2 down. Christine started a trend over there at DeWitt, so 2 specials teachers in 1 year, but he will be missed. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Item H, Superintendent CO's business. Your comments, Dr. Selko.
Thank you. Just a couple things. One, congratulations, Chris. You are now official, so you can't get out of it. Okay. So I know my team is just as excited as I am because they're tired of hearing me complain about not having an assistant and making lots of jokes about it. Like, oh, I'll give this to my assistant. Oh, that's right, I don't have one. So they're done with that. They're done. I know you're all happy. So.
Can you say it one more time?
Yes. Can't go anywhere, Chris. So again, congratulations and looking very forward to working with you.
Thank you.
A couple things, and maybe we'll come up with these in our communications later, but just things I don't want to lose sight of. Our construction meetings. So I just wanted to share with the community and those of you who are here. We have been having our construction leadership teams, or the CLT meetings pretty regularly, and then we're having report outs. But most of that was due to the fact that we had been in the design development phase. So we've been doing a lot of planning, whereas now we're in the construction phase, and now we're removing dirt. And so the report outs are not as, while they're exciting, it's a long progress, but they're not as detailed or as much to share as frequently. So we've requested to the board that we meet a little less frequently, so we'll look to change, perhaps consider moving those meetings just maybe quarterly or so, just to keep the public informed, But what you're going to see is, what you see on the site is pretty much what's happening. But we'll be glad to share that information. We'll keep doing it in writing, as well as Christine will communicate that to our community. But the meetings will be less frequent as they have been. And with that, on November 17th is one of the changes that we were going to have our next CLT. Instead, we will have the superintendent's first 100 days, I want to say in office, because that's what they always say, but in this position, that I will share out some great things that the district has been doing, and the things that I promised to do in my first 100 days, and just to make sure you can all hold me accountable and you can go down that checklist of what I said I would do and if I've done it or not. So we will be having that on November 17th, and that's going to start at 6:30 as a reception, and then 7 o'clock will be the presentation. And we'll have some student performances embedded in that as well. We also wanted to talk about it, maybe I'll leave this to you, Mr. Gomez, but about visiting the construction site. So I don't know if you want to defer that to later, but other than that, got into a lot of classrooms this week. Was really excited to do so. I'm gonna visit a couple more this week. Been taking some time and sitting and listening to children and watching them learn, and it's been quite fun and enlightening. But this time I concentrated a bit more time in the buildings this week. So good stuff to report there. But lots of stuff happening. This district, we have a lot happening. I met with the mayor. He's got a lot going on in the city, so I feel like every night I can find something to do if I'm ever bored. I'm definitely occupied just by coming to Cuyahoga Falls.
Good.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Thank you, Dr. Salka.
Thank you.
Go on to item I, board business. Number 1 is future construction communication. First up, we talk about, let's hit the site visit. So Jeff Adams said that we could visit the site. He can give us a little lowdown on what's happening before they wrap up for the winter. Are we all interested in doing that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're all interested in that, and so you can work, maybe let Mr. Adams know, and then we can work to get a time set up.
Right. So
That's
we're
always
looking
the fun adventure.
Yes, right. I don't know if you want evenings or weekends. I don't know if they're on
I think
site.
an evening, well, I mean,
He's
it gets dark
usually
pretty
there
early.
past 5.
Right.
I will say,
Like maybe a 5:30, the same as board meeting time. I think we can probably all meet. That would be a good time, at least for me, like 5:30.
yeah.
Then it starts getting dark.
Yeah, right. That's what I was
Quickly.
thinking of too. Because
So-
we're gonna have don't we have the time change too soon coming up?
November
It's
6th.
Yeah.
yes.
So we should get it in before
Yes.
then.
Yeah.
Okay, I will work on that and propose some
next
dates.
Not
We're
next
busy
week.
Not
next
next week is a very busy
We're
week.
very busy
Right.
next
Yes.
week.
And preferably not on a Thursday.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. All right, I will work with Jeff and get some dates, and I'll throw them back at you guys and let me know
Thank you.
what sticks. All right.
And then we
gotcha.
wanted to talk about, so for October and November, we have those set separately because we canceled the October meeting because we're having the presentation, which would be and then November, we're having Dr. Selico's. And I'll send that invite, the combo invite that Ms. Stewart put together out to the committee members, probably tonight or tomorrow for those two. So then, what do we want to do going forward? Thoughts?
My thought is, since we don't have an official meeting with them in October and November, that maybe we end the year and wrap up the year with a meeting with them, and then start the every 3 months, quarterly. Just because it will have already been 3 months since we had one at that point.
Yeah. And I think there will be, Hammond can talk about, they'll be finishing up basically what they're able to do before the winter break hits the project. So they'll have that, and then they'll be able to talk about the bidding process that's coming up, and then that, and maybe at that meeting, we could engage them in conversation about what that looks like going forward. Like, when would be, if we're gonna meet quarterly, is it January, is it when do you think you're gonna have good information to share out to this group? Which month would that be, and then kind of go from there, does that?
Oh, yeah. And then 3 months from December would be March, which is when they tentatively said that they would have that information.
Yeah,
so-
because they're bidding from late January to late February.
Right. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah. Just wanna make sure we're all on the same page, and then I'll make sure I communicate that out to everyone on the group, but I wanna make sure we're all together before I do that.
Thank you.
Thank you. What else? The other thing are the daytime groups still meeting as regularly? So like Ms. White and then the design team?
Yes, we haven't talked about changing that. And we've been having a lot of interim meetings as well with different groups. And we still have a meeting on tomorrow, I know that. So I'll be discussing what we discuss here tonight with them tomorrow.
Okay. If we could just, because that is, the thing about not meeting monthly is that that's how the board gets its information between that and Ms. White. So if you could just make sure that either through them or through you or through someone you designate, that they're sharing out information to the board about the design team meetings as well, to make sure we're just kept abreast of what's going on, since we won't have that monthly check-in point with them.
Sure, and I think they're gonna stay on the books. Maybe they just won't go as long, but, you know, certainly a check-in.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see how that goes, but they're still on the books.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 2, future agenda items. Anyone? We have, the one thing that I emailed about was that we want to have a discussion about communications, give some forward-thinking feedback as Ms. Stewart and Dr. Selko are going to work on that comprehensive communications plan and that coordinating of community relations plan, to give a little feedback on opportunities we see there as a board, as people representing our community on that. So I think that might be a good discussion to have as a discussion item at our next meeting. That'll give us all some time to think about that, put our thoughts together as well.
I had the student member of the school board. I don't know when we're, gonna do that. I was hoping we would.
I think the plan is to do so.
Okay.
And we're gonna do it in connection with the Soups Troops
Yeah,
program.
that's what I- yeah.
The second meeting is this week, is that
It's
correct?
actually, our second meeting is tomorrow.
Okay,
So-
good. So we're
Yes.
gonna
We
get
have-
there.
We just
Okay.
kinda did the introductions at first. I
Okay.
don't wanna scare them with too much stuff.
So she's gonna
I
get
gotta
that-
draw them in first, then
She's
I'm
gonna
gonna
get
scare
that
'em.
Okay.
rolling, and then we're
All
gonna
right.
kinda
Thank you.
hop
Thank
onto
you.
that,
I
but yeah.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep.
And then can we have an update on the dress code when it gets all
Yes.
worked out and decided? I mean, not now, but, down the road when it's,
Yeah, so the
It's
next
done.
steps, so we had that first meeting, I think I reported out on that, and then, the next plan is to have an evening meeting with a little bit of a larger group. And, part 2 of the activity that we did the first evening, which was look at policy and look at handbook and make some recommendations, so that's gonna take probably a couple meetings,
Sure.
but,
Or
it's on
more.
the to-do list. It's on the to-do list.
okay, just an
Yes,
update.
thank you.
And then also I've been asking for the gifted program, an update sometime coming up in the future, so yes, that's all I.
And specifically, you wanna know how we're servicing our gifted
I do,
students, correct?
yes.
Cause we had previously, we know how they're identified, but
Right,
we wanna know
right.
what we're doing to service
Exactly,
them and meet their needs, correct? Okay.
yes, yes.
And then at next meeting, our big piece of item business will be the report card presentation. We all got information on that, to prepare ourselves for as well. Okay? On to item 3, committee reports. Core team is meeting tomorrow, is
Tomorrow.
that correct?
That's right, tomorrow.
The Alliance for School and Community Growth did meet, Ms. Coco.
Yes, we had our meeting last Tuesday at Neonet, and it was, again, a great group that attended. And Dr. Selko gave a short presentation on our strategic plan and where we're at, and kind of where we need to go, which kind of gave the group information. They were very appreciative of that, of being able to help kind of identify where they can step in and help us in our goals as a district. And then we broke off into groups, into 4 and 5 people, and we brainstormed on different ways that the community and district can partner together. There were a lot of great ideas shared of ways for future employment for our students, and just resources and things. So we're going to be revisiting that and kind of come up with a plan next month. And next meeting is November 9th. November 8th, when we were originally were scheduled, is a PD day and election day. So everyone was agreeable with switching it to the next day on Wednesday, the 9th. I was very appreciative and happy that there's so many administrators that have been attending these meetings, all the way from elementary up through high school. It's important that we have their feedback, and for our community leaders to have their knowledge as well. It really is nice to have them there, so.
Thank you. Board policy, we received our policy packets this evening, so our next step is we'll schedule a meeting and then send them on for first read. Foundation Alumni Association, we met last week. Yeah, but they didn't meet.
Oh,
We met last week for Foundation and Alumni Association. We're continuing to refine our strategic plan. And I believe Beth McNicholas is going to come at a meeting in December and present on that to the board and community. And we are working to expand our reach in terms of membership of trustees. So we're working on that as well. Those are our two big pieces we're looking at. But we've already had a couple people reach out about giving alternative scholarships, because we haven't thought of a name for it. But the goal of the foundation is to support, one of the goals is to support our students as they graduate and go into life. And we know that college was originally what we were doing as a foundation, we're just giving scholarships to go to college, but we know more and more our students are choosing other paths, enrolled, enlisted, employed. And as a foundation, we've only been supporting one of those three paths as they move on. So we're looking at different opportunities, especially in the employment sense, because we have strong career tech programs where kids can be credentialed and go into a career, but maybe they need tools or startup money. And how can we as a foundation support them to be successful in that? And we talked about that at our retreat, and just coincidentally, they had a few people reach out. So they're starting to develop that scholarship program as well, because we want to support our students in whatever success looks like after they walk across that stage. We as a foundation want to be prepared to support them in making that happen. So we're really excited to see that happen. It's really important work. Okay, legislative liaison, Mr. Harris?
Yes, excuse me. I have a couple updates here. Just a couple things from the state school board. Their legislative committee on October 11th discussed two resolutions. The first one passed committee, and it would recommend the repeal of the provision of the third grade reading guarantee law that mandates retention of the third grade student who does not meet the minimum score on the third grade English Arts ELA assessment. The goal is to get rid of this one-size-fits-all mandate and make it more of an individual plan specific to the student's needs. Since I did a little bit of research into this, since 2013-2014 school year, 3,600 students have been held back due to this mandate, with only 14% showing proficiency upon taking this test the second time. So they're going to go, hopefully, this gets passed by the board vote and then moves to a recommendation to the General Assembly. Second resolution recommends that the General Assembly allocate dollars from the American Rescue Plan to provide all students in Ohio with a free breakfast or lunch, similar to what other states, California, Maine, Massachusetts, Nevada, and Vermont have been doing. The committee did not vote on this resolution, but plans to gather additional data on that. A couple pieces of legislation that were just recently introduced. House Bill 722, or the Parents' Bill of Rights, would require public schools to adopt a prescribed policy on parental notification on student health and well-being, including allowing a parent to review instructional materials with sexually explicit content, prohibit school district personnel from discouraging or prohibiting parental notification or involvement in critical decisions affecting a student's mental, emotional, or physical well-being, and require schools to create with a parent a health care plan for each student that is approved by the student's parent. And then the next one, I had mentioned this at the last meeting, Senate Bill 361, which would allow school districts to employ veterans of U.S. Armed Forces that have met certain requirements to be employed as teachers without licenses. So I'm just following those. I'll keep you guys updated.
Thank you for that. Student Achievement Liaison, your meeting
We
next
will
month.
meet in November.
Okay, thank you. On to item 4, comments. Ms. White, you're up first.
Yes, I'd like to give a shout out to our IT team. As I was reading through my
superintendent's notes, I noticed that you had updated all the Chromebooks, the desk tickets, and so on, and you have closed a total of 957 tickets since August. So very happy, proud. And of course, let me find my articles. 2 articles that came to my attention. Both were in the Beacon Journal, as I'm sure some of you get and read. I still do, although, I don't know. But at any rate, the first one is about the ACT test scores, lowest in 30 years. The average ACT composite score was 19.8 out of 36, making the first time since 1991 the average score was below 20. What's more, an increasing number of high school students failed to meet any of the subject area benchmarks set by the ACT, showing a decline in preparedness for college-level work. We see rapidly growing numbers of seniors leaving high school without meeting college readiness benchmarks in any of the subjects we measure. So, another one I pulled, which I thought was really a good article, from Kent State, Ohio State, Akron, the University of Akron, and I think there was another university involved, but it's a study of reading fluency, the missing component in most programs. And to me, this was very interesting. A third of 4th and 8th graders read at a level described as below basic by the U.S. Department of Education. Only 1/3 of 4th graders read at a level considered proficient or advanced. We also feel that relatively minor changes at the school and classroom levels could have a dramatic impact on student achievement. The National Reading Panel, a group of reading experts commissioned by Congress to review the science that supports reading development, identified 5 key components for success in reading: phonemic awareness, phonics, vocabulary or word meaning, comprehension, and reading fluency. It is the last competency that is often neglected in our elementary classroom reading instruction. Greater emphasis in this one area would alone, we feel, lead to significant improvements in overall reading performance. Likewise, whenever literacy instruction happens without this essential component in place, the opposite outcome also holds true. We have proof. We work with children primarily finishing grades K-8 who are experiencing significant difficulties in reading. In our initial assessments of these children, we found that they were progressing in phonemic awareness, phonics, and vocabulary. Their comprehension also was adequate if a text was read to them. However, when they had to read on their own, comprehension usually faltered. Although the problem on the surface was poor reading comprehension, the deeper concern was reading fluency. Although the students could decode the words they encountered, they usually read in an excessively slow pace and in a word-by-word manner. Their focus was on decoding the words, which they could do, albeit with great effort, and not on the meaning of the text they were reading. When oral reading fluency and reading expressively became the foundations of literacy instruction, we observed children making significant gains in all areas of reading. We developed a fluency development lesson that aimed at improving students' ability to read words effortlessly and with good expression so that they could focus on meaning rather than on individual words. Through repeated practice of short texts such as poems, plays, jokes, riddles, children developed their reading fluency muscles, and as a result, their overall reading performance improved. In as little as 20 days, 90 minutes per day of instruction, students made significant progress in reading, in many cases over a year's growth. I'm going to repeat that. In 20 days, 90 minutes per day of instruction, students made significant progress in reading, in many cases over 1 year's growth. That's amazing. Keep in mind that as struggling readers, these were students who in school failed to make a year's growth in reading for a year's worth of instruction. The problem is that reading fluency was identified years ago as a missing component of most reading programs, yet it continues to be relatively neglected in many classrooms where the instruction emphasis has been placed primarily on developing students' competencies in phonics. As professors, we are clearly big proponents of explicitly teaching phonics in the classroom. However, Time and again, we have observed that when fluency and meaning are not at the forefront of this instruction, children often do not develop the traction they need to move forward with greater reading success. Exemplary educators understand this research and know how to apply it creatively and artfully. They personalize and go beyond the many prepackaged reading methods and programs to keep fluency and understanding at the forefront of their instruction. The results are significant gains in literacy acquisition, development, and ultimately learner success. Research universities such as KSU, the University of Akron, Ohio State, University of Cincinnati, and others have conducted study after study demonstrating what is needed to develop successful readers. So just to keep in mind, again, that is why I keep asking about reading and our reading programs, how much the kids are reading, what types, genres they are reading, and so on. And I would appreciate some numbers on that at some point here coming up. Also, the writing, when you're reading and writing, as I read last time, writing makes kids think. It organizes their thoughts. It gives them a little clarity, and it improves instructions. I have another article on that for another evening. Good. Thank you.
It does remind me though that we never received that list of novels that they selected for our students to read. So if Dr. Cruz could follow up on that, because when we approved that 612 curriculum for literacy, we were told we were going to receive a list of novels they selected. So if we could get that list to us, thank you. Ms. Coca?
Yes, first of all, just congratulations to all of our top Tigers. It's so exciting to have parents and caregivers and students back in our board meetings, even if they go get ice cream and don't stay for the whole time. I don't blame them, but congratulations to all of them. There's been a lot of events that I've been able to attend over the past 2 weeks. I'm not even sure if I remember them all. The PTSO vendor fair this past Saturday, just a shout out to the PTSO and everything they do to provide scholarships for the students. And I've been before, and I haven't seen it that packed with that many vendors and the food trucks and everything. It was really great. And so just thank you for all their hard work and what they've done. I was able to attend the Collide fundraiser for the arts and supporting local artists, the Cultural Fest with the Kiwanis Club, Keys to Serenity, supporting our families with addiction in the area, and the citywide or downtown trunk or treat. Thank you to the board that handed out candy so I could walk with my little witches. It was great and packed, and yes, very packed, but always a good time. The city puts on great events. Upcoming this week, there's a Preston event on the 21st, a fall festival. We have trunk or treats at Lincoln and Richardson on the 28th. The last football game is this Friday. And of course, next week we have the 100th birthday celebration coming up, and one more time band show next week too. So, and I'm sure I'm missing. There's so many things going on all the time, as Dr. Selico said. But just thank you to everyone that pulls together for so many things in our district, and thank you, School Bus Safety Week, to all of our school bus drivers that keep our students safe every day to and from school. So that's all I have.
Thank you. I'm up next. Many of us on the board were able to get our own ice cream night when we went to Richardson to support their DQ fundraiser as well.
Yes, my family did that.
All through the month of October, you can continue to round up your DQ purchases to support our marching band as well. I too was at the vendor fair. Big shout out to Susan Keller, whose children have graduated but is determined to continue to make sure opportunities exist for kids at our high school, and just does so much. And that was the largest vendor fair she's ever planned. She had over 70 vendors, and she's very proud of that. So stay tuned. She's got the quarter auction coming up next. I wanted to recognize one of our alumni who was in that Beacon Journal. Sarah Shendy is a Copley police officer and Cuyahoga Falls High School graduate, and she graduated high school early at the age of 16, went and got her degree, and she has two jobs. She's a Copley police officer, and she's head of the Law Enforcement Recruitment Office for the state of Ohio. and just received an international award from the International Association of Chiefs of Police. They recognized only 20 people, and Sarah Shendy, the Cuyahoga Falls High School graduate, was one of those people. So
Yeah, I was
that's-
lucky to have her.
That's really wonderful.
She's great.
Since last meeting, I found out the Reading is Fundamental program, where students get, middle school students are getting 3 books, is also at Roberts. So I'm very excited about that. Love to see if we can't get that into our elementary schools as well. So we've got Imagination Library until you're 5 and kindergarten age. Now we've got this middle school program, so gotta close that gap, make sure we're getting books to our elementary school kids as well. I want to thank my fellow board members because the day before last Friday, I thought, well, as a school district, we should be represented at this downtown Cuyahoga Falls trick or treat, and we all came together and we made it happen on about 24 hours notice and made sure that our district was represented. And Ms. Stewart and Dr. Selico made sure we got some flyers to invite our young families as well out to the 100th anniversary and design unveiling. Just note that bricks are still available. Your Newberry bricks are still available, but I don't think for long because building's almost completely down. And I've had so many people in the community, including a couple people on city council, reach out, and they're just so impressed, as am I, as to how fast the progress is moving on the site. And last but not least, just want to let people know that everyone in Summit County State Board of Education is on the ballot this year. Take the time to be informed about that as your local school board members that are most impacted by the administrative code that the State Board of Education writes. Please take time to look into what the State Board of Education does and who's running and make an informed decision. It's so important that we know who those people are because they make decisions that either give us the opportunity to do what's best for kids or tie our hands so that we can't. Mr. Harris.
Yes, congratulations to our Staff Star Award winner and our top Tigers this evening. As Ms. Coco said, it is the honor of this job is just seeing the excitement, giving out this award, and just appreciating the hard work our students are doing in and outside the classroom. So I'm glad top Tigers are back. I also was able to attend a PTSO vendor fair. It was amazing. My wife, as she was looking at more of the crafty stuff, I was sampling the jerky and getting some baked goods and buying hot sauce. So we left very happy, both of us. So it was an amazing event. A lot of people showed up, and the number of vendors there, it's incredible. So and also just a quick reminder again, it's been said tonight that next Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. in the auditorium, celebrating the 100-year birthday anniversary of the Cuyahoga Falls High School and getting the unveiling of the new 612 campus. As Mr. Gomez said, we were able to pass out some candy and some informational flyers to folks downtown at the downtown Cuyahoga Falls Trick or Treat. That was a good time. And then lastly, it was also mentioned that this week is National School Bus Safety Week. Ms. Stewart has been doing a fantastic job at highlighting some of the amazing folks we have working in our transportation department, monitors, drivers, mechanics, transportation supervisors. Just know that we all appreciate everything you're doing. So thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Schaefer?
Just a couple things. Everyone went to the vendor fair, but it was really a great event. Like you said, the biggest one ever. Something for everyone there. There was food, there was crafts, there were like Tupperware and things like that. Great job. And the food trucks may have stopped at those also. Very good. Looking forward, this Friday is the last home football game, and the marching band's going to be doing their Stars and Stripes Forever performance with the gigantic flag on the field. And I get to help with the flag, so I'm very, very excited about that. And then one more time next week.
Next Thursday at 7:30.
Very excited about that. It's always an emotional,
It
you
is.
go in there and you're like, I'm going to hear some good music, and then all of a sudden you're feeling all the feels and maybe getting a little misty. It's a great show.
It is.
Those kids work really hard for that. I think that's about it. It's going to be a good couple weeks.
Yep.
Thank you. Item J, we have an executive session. Pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22G6, is hereby moved that the board adjourn to executive session details relative to the security arrangements and emergency response protocols for public body or public office if disclosure of the matters discussed could reasonably be expected to jeopardize the security of the public body or office.
I'll second.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
We're in executive session at 6:55 p.m.